stop any wage garnishments, stop harassing collection calls, even eliminate your student loan payment. If you can't afford your student loans, or if you're past due and you need help, you must call right now. We will restructure your loan or your money back, and that's a guarantee. So call the Student Loan Hotline right now. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707. 800-949-8707.
Welcome to the show, Fifth Street Sports, here on the Sports Byline USA SB Nation radio networks. I'm Nick Geber, along with Nolan, Dalla, and Oklahoma Brian, who joins us via telephone. It is great to be with you this wonderful Saturday, World Cup Saturday, shall we say, Nolan?
Yeah, we got quite a show coming up today, Nick. We're going to talk about the sports betting that's been legalized here in the United States outside of Nevada. Some states have already started taking bets. World Cup, your favorite thing to talk about in the whole world. We've got some surprises coming in the second hour, so we got a full show today.
Absolutely. We'll be joined a little later on by Nick Webster, my colleague, my co-host, my partner in crime in the soccer world over many, many years. We'll be talking about World Cup. We're also going to talk a little e-gaming, specifically some stuff going on with Fortnite, some big news coming out of the Fortnite world. And also, we will be talking, if you can believe this, College World Series and U.S. Open Golf. So we've got a completely jam-packed show for you today. If you are following the World Cup, I just want to let you know we will be giving you throughout these next 2 hours our picks for both Sunday's matches and Monday's matches.
Right. There's a lot of games coming up now. They do start here in the United States very early in the morning. But if you wake up, maybe you listen, make some money.
I was up at 3 a.m. this morning.
Well, maybe you partied last night, huh?
No, I went to bed at 3. I went to bed at 2:58. Got a full 2 minutes. So we're going to cover it. And then if you're having your withdrawal and you're saying, "What am I going to do?" Because Fifth Street Sports is not on anymore at the because we're not on tomorrow, and I'm freaking out because I've got all these World Cup matches. The good news is, folks, Fifth Street Sports will be with you every Monday through Friday.
One day a week wasn't enough.
1 p.m. Pacific time. That's 4 p.m. East Coast time, and then again 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, you're going to get all the World Cup, all the NFL, everything you want, of course, in the timely fashion. All right.
That means you can handicap the Morocco-Iran game, right?
Isn't that exciting? Visit us at fifthstreetsports.com, folks. We're going to step aside here and take a break. We are brought to you by Affordable Autos Pahrump, where you can get a great vehicle, easy financing, completely wonderful.
Who are you supposed to ask for over there?
Yeah, Big Jack, by the way.
Big Jack.
Call them at 702-807-0607. And finally, a big hello to our men and women in uniform listening around the world on American forces. This is Fifth Street Sports. We'll be right back.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down, 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help.
800-754-4531. 800.
All right, here we go, guys.
4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
All right, welcome back to the show, Fifth Street Sports. Sports Byline SB Nation Radio. Nick Geber and Nolan Dalla with you. On the phone, we're pleased to welcome in our regular co-host, Oklahoma Brian. How you doing, Oklahoma?
Doing great. How about you guys?
Well, very well, as always, Brian. It is a World Cup. It is a World Cup extravaganza. And, of course, we'll be covering that in detail throughout all of our Fifth Street Sports programming, as well as on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. Of course, Twitter at Fifth Street Sports, and at the website at fifthstreetsports.com. Now that I've got that out of the way, Oklahoma, you don't mind if I call you Oak, do you?
That's what my good friends call me, Oak. By the way, I've been up for 12 hours now. I woke up for the Australia game, so I feel almost feels like evening now.
Well, I was awake. I was just telling Nolan, I was awake the whole time for that. I watched every match today. Watched every match so far of the entire. Well, I will watch every match of the World Cup, every single one. But it is absolutely terrific, and I have managed to place some quality bets. And if you have been listening to our show over the last week, Fifth Street Soccer during the week, and if you've been on the website watching our previews and stuff, you will know that we've actually given you some really, really, really good advice of where to put money, starting with some of the unders, which we've been pretty bullish on, and the matches that we picked for those have worked out. But if you're listening to this show and you don't want to go to betanysports.eu, open an account right now and get 50% bonus on your deposit up to $1,000, if you'd rather walk into your local sports book, Brian, you can now do that apparently in New Jersey and Delaware, and I hear New York's not too far behind.
I think it's close in New York. I think that it's not a done deal in New York. I think they're not. I wouldn't say they're on the 1 yard line yet. I think there's still some work to do in New York.
Well, where are we with Delaware? Because I know Delaware's open for business. I think New Jersey just took their first bets in Atlantic City, but it's only one casino, right, in New Jersey at this point.
Actually, let me correct you, Nick. The Monmouth Park, which is a racetrack between New York City and Atlantic City, they actually, I think, were the first to take a bet.
That's right.
That's where the rollout was, and also the state senator, Lesniak, I believe is his name, the Senator Lesniak, who was instrumental, really deserves a lot of credit for getting that passed. Obviously, the governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie, it was his lawsuit that led to this momentous occasion.
Yes, New Jersey were really the people that were instrumental in it.
Yeah, and give credit where it's due.
Yeah, absolutely. They haven't done much in New Jersey, but that's one thing they have done. They fought the evil empire. They fought the big sports leagues. The NCAA, the NFL, the Major League Baseball, they fought them tooth and nail, and the federal government, in fairness, and they won. So big kudos to them. Everyone in our business is smiling and very thrilled and happy for that.
Yeah.
So.
I'd like to ask you something, Brian, picking up on what Nick has said. When obviously right now we have baseball going on in the World Cup, but these are not quite as heavily as the big gorillas in sports betting in America, which is football, college football, and pro football. Let me ask you a question on when we get to, say, the early part of September, when we have the rollout of the pro and college. New Jersey will be live. Delaware will be live. What other states do you think will be live, will legally accept sports betting come, about 2.5, 3 months from now?
Yeah, well, Michigan is really close. They're right on the verge. I think I think they might be the next state, and it'll be somewhat predictable. It'll be this, a lot of the Rust Belt states that really need the income. West Virginia is close. They have, I believe they have a deal in place, close to. So Michigan, New York. Yeah, those are.
Why do you think? Do you think there's some relationship between, you're talking about New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania may come into play here, Michigan, West Virginia. By the way, you see there's a common bound here. They all pretty much have borders with each other. Is that an influence here? And how come nobody in the West, except for obviously Nevada, we have it here, but how come nobody in the South and the West is on board this train yet?
I love it when you ask me. So in a previous life, I was a professor of geography, actually, and I always love it when geography is somehow relevant to the answer of things. But yeah, of course it is. It's very analogous to state lotteries 25, 30 years ago, right? When you were compelled to adopt a lottery yourself because people were driving across the state line on Friday with their paychecks to go buy lottery tickets in neighboring states, and I'm sure the same fear is in place in a lot of these states. Absolutely. And I'll say one of my favorite things is that every state has balked so far on the integrity fee.
That's my favorite thing.
Right.
That's my favorite thing as well. Yeah.
I mean, it's...
so good luck with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little calmer. It's calmer. It is ridiculous that these same leagues that fought this tooth and nail and forced the state of New Jersey into all this expense and all this time and all this effort, are then trying to stick their hands in their pockets. But ultimately, they are. It's a natural instinct for them. I don't know what else to say. No, stick their hands in your pockets. But that's all good news. Any other big news coming out of the world of gambling right now, sports betting, Brian, that struck you as interesting?
I always get a kick out of when the World Cup starts. Every 4 years, you can see these articles about the loss in economic productivity around the world, with workers not working efficiently, watching games, people calling in sick. I think there were some reports of the volume on world stock markets has been down like 48% during the hours that coincide with games. And of course, when we get to the later stages, then we start to hear about suicides in in Brazil. And it's amazing how significant the World Cup is in people's lives around the world. It really, I think that's lost on a lot of us here in the States.
Let me give you the opposite side of that coin, though. You talk about loss of productivity. I've also heard the other side of that is that any area of the world where there's a flashpoint, where there's military engagement, even war, a lot of soldiers and fighting, like in Syria and so forth, and again, places where there's unrest. Who fights wars? It's usually young men who happen to be football fans. And I hear in many cases they lay down their arms and get around a TV to watch these games. I've also heard that side.
Well, there's the famous story of the Christmas truce in World War I, which I'm sure you've heard of the story, in 1915, when the British left their trenches and the Germans left theirs, and they met in no man's land on New Year's Eve to play a friendly game of football, of course, driving their superior officers crazy who couldn't wait to start the meat grinder. But football, and this is as it is, by the way, football and sport should be the great equalizer, which is one of the reasons, for example, why I was so upset about Nike's decision not to supply boots, cleats, to the Iranian national team. I mean, we really need to get politics out of sport, and unless it's something terrible like the Iraqis who are executing their players if they didn't win. Unless it's something truly, truly egregious like that. But I mean, political differences are political differences, and as long as you are on the right side of the FIFA laws and FIFA rules, then I think that
FIFA has rules.
Yes, well they do. Fewer of them are broken these days, but plenty still are.
Yeah.
And we can do another whole show on my experiences with FIFA, particularly Sepp Blatter, and I have some personal one-on-one experience with the dapper Austrian or dapper Swiss. Swiss or Austrian, anyway.
Same thing.
Anyway, all right, we've got to go to break. When we come back, we'll be joined by another Brian. We'll be joined by Brian Wilson, who is back in Florida after a interesting run at the World Series of Poker. So we'll be joined by Brian Wilson. We're going to talk about some poker news with the World Series of Poker going on. Big news, Doyle Brunson deciding to hang it up after all these years. And we're going to talk about that here on this show, next segment, with Brian Wilson, Oklahoma Brian, Nolan, Dalla, myself. You're listening to Fifth Street Sports. You can find us on the web at fifthstreetsports.com. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports or Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. You're getting the idea here, right? It's a theme.
Fifth Street Sports.
Fifth Street Sports.
All right.
Why not? This is Fifth Street Sports, where it's talk you can bet on.
Clear.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Hey folks, with Array Solar, solar for your home or business has never been easier. And with summer just around the corner, get ready for those massive, massive bills to the utility company. And they are huge, by the way. Ditch your utility payment now and say hello to clean, cheap energy. Call now for your free consultation, 702-919-9934. That's Array Solar, folks, 702-919-9934. Mention radio and get a $500 gift card when you install your new solar system from Array. Once again, that's 702-919-9934. And it is hot here in Las Vegas, which is where Fifth Street is, if you're listening out there in Radio Land.
And we're in the basement, but I'll tell you what, there's plenty of sun, so call the company and save on your electric bill.
Yeah. Do you remember last year, Nolan? It was 117 degrees during the summer. It was so hot that when I went out to get my mail from the mailbox, my shoes melted, which tells me two things. Number one is it gets very hot here in Las Vegas, and number two, they don't make shoes very well.
It also means you need to lose some weight.
Well, I have done that since then. That's good. All right, let's welcome back to the show, of course, our regular co-host, Oklahoma Brian, and also our other co-host and Fifth Street resident, Mr. Brian Wilson, who is calling us from Florida. And I don't know what's going on in the back there, Brian. It sounds like
police have arrived.
Is there some police thing going on there, Brian?
Are you?
Nothing I can hear. Pretty quiet here.
Wow, sounds terrible. All right, well, Brian, well, first of all, I see that you're back in Florida now and you're sporting the Fifth Street hat. That's awesome. But tell us, how was your World Series of Poker here?
That was pretty uneventful. I mean, never really got anything going. When I did get something going, I ran into a better hand, and it's just kind of the way things are when you're traveling the tournament circuit. If you don't catch a couple hands early, a lot of times you're going to die the death slowly of just kind of blinding away in certain areas when if you had chips, you could play a little more aggressively.
So, Brian, of course, the big news this year out of the World Series of Poker was that the great Doyle Brunson, Texas Dolly, who, by the way, we have a special on our website where he's going through some of his favorite westerns. Nolan, you could talk about that in a bit. Has announced his retirement from poker. How do you feel about that? One of the greats putting the cards away.
Well, this guy is what poker's all about. He was an athlete when he was younger. He was drafted in the NBA. He broke his leg. He's had cancer like 3 times. The guy's just a legend in so many facets of life, just not poker. He makes a final table in the deuce to 7 low ball. Brian Rath won the event and won his 4th bracelet, but he's still out there playing with the best players in the world at the highest stakes possible on a daily basis. And, there's never going to be somebody that is able to accomplish what he's accomplished in poker.
Yeah, Nolan, I mean, what are your thoughts about Doyle Brunson retiring from the game?
Well, it's the close of an era. He's been compared to Babe Ruth or, a pioneer of the game. And I echo what Brian said. I think most of us knew him. We weren't around in the 1950s, for example, but think about, again, the pioneer and the groundbreaker that he was back then. He was a poker player when that wasn't cool, when it was you were an outlaw. And the very fact that, as Brian said last week, he made a final table he makes an announcement, this is my last poker event I'm going to play, and he makes the final table and finishes 5th, and he's 85 years old. And whenever I talk about why you should pick to play poker or get involved in the game, that's it, because you have a man that's in his mid-80s that probably couldn't, at any other sport or any other competitive endeavor, would not have the ability to compete on an equal footing, and yet here's Doyle Brunson. Obviously, he's a special man, a special talent, great experience and skills, and he's still competing at the very highest level. Something tells me we still haven't seen the last of him. I think he's got the competitive spirit. I think he'll surface again somewhere, and he'll certainly surface on our website if you want to watch the westerns. Doyle Brunson's favorite westerns of all time. He came up with 60 movies. I know we're changing subject, but 60 great
segue,
movies.
by the way, and
we will be doing that. But back to what does Doyle mean to you, Nick?
Doyle to me is this is really finally the ending of one era, and the full establishment of the other, even though the other era has been fairly well established. I'm talking about the retirement finally of the old guard, those guys with whom the early days of the poker boom and the early aughts, isn't that how we say it now? The early aughts, the early 2000s. The sort of the growth of poker, televised poker, was built on their name, on their brand. And I think more and more of these guys are going to be hanging it up. And, of course, the young guns took over. The internet players, the guys who claimed they could see more hands than Doyle Brunson had seen in his lifetime, and they could do that in 6 months because they were multi-tabling 15 tables at a time. But I think we're seeing that official changing of the guard, and I'm not sure I'm happy about it.
Yeah, well, speaking of segue, now we'll go back to Brian Wilson talking about what he's seen, particularly in terms of the international influence at the World Series of Poker. Brian, I believe you were out here last week, and you said that, well, you have some things to share about the international influence here in poker and at the World Series.
Well, I believe Bulgaria has won 3 bracelets so far. Bulgaria, this is the shifting of poker from, the States and England and Europe and stuff. It's blowing up all over China, Taiwan. It's truly an international sport. And I've seen that over the last 2 or 3 years, where the participation in the World Series of Poker and other poker tours is just exploding. Even though in the U.S. things have kind of crumbled a little bit, we've lost our online gaming as far as poker. So I just think it's seen an enormous rise. And when you get a country like Bulgaria winning 3 bracelets in the first, I think it was 20 events, there's just showing you how the growth of poker internationally is taking off. And I just think that's going to be the wave of the future. I think Nolan talked last time, there was 118 countries or something at the World Series of Poker. And that's just amazing. You go from something that started at Binion's, with no international flavor whatsoever, and now every final table there's an international player, if not 2, 3, or 4, and they're actually winning bracelets. So if you go through the results of the first 30 events, it's huge.
I believe the international flavor in those early days of Binion's was probably the Chinese food that they brought in for lunch. You're quite right. That's a really good point, Brian. But it makes me wonder how much the federal government's overreaching actions in terms of online poker has killed the notion of American dominance in what is traditionally an American game. It's played much more rabidly by a much larger group of people overseas now. It does seem to be a strange and rather ironic twist, doesn't it, Nolan?
No, you're quite right. And we, as a Texan, I was born in Texas. We used to think, hey, how come all these other great Texas Hold'em players are not from Texas anymore? And now, the game spreads throughout the United States. Then it becomes go over to England and Ireland and Wales and all this. And now all of a sudden you've got, a lot of players who are great poker players who don't speak English. And and again, it's a testament to what Brian was saying about the spread of the game. Real quick point, though, Brian, I'd like to ask you is that, do you think that there's I call it a feeder mentality? We saw this in Germany, in Austrian players a few years ago, where there was a tight-knit community of very, very good players who shared information, who were good friends, who talked strategy, and they made each other better. And I have a feeling we used to see this with the Vietnamese players back in the 80s and 90s in poker here in the United States. Do you think that that's what we're seeing with Bulgaria and maybe some future countries, that you've got a tight-knit group of 5 or 6 great players sharing strategy? And is that why they're having a breakout year?
Well, sure. I mean, you can even look back at, if you want to use some American players for that, looking back at Dutch Boyd and his crew that was running around in 2003, 2004, 2005. But really, I think what a lot of this boils down to is you've got to have people that strive to be great at something. And then they also have to have the time to be able to do it. So, the best poker players in the world may never make it to Las Vegas to play in the World Series of Poker, simply because of family obligations, money, time, whatever it is. But I do think that the core of when you are running good and when your head is in the game and when you have your best results, it's got a lot to do with the people around you and who you're talking to on breaks and who you're actually living with and the things that are going on. So I think anytime you can surround yourself with people, with like ideas that want to be the best at something, you're absolutely going to do better. And that's exactly what happens when you get these groups from foreign countries that want to come to the U.S. They rent a house together. They have dinners together. They're just, it's all they have is that small group of players. And that's why you see multiple people making multiple final tables from one group. It happens all the time.
It does seem interesting. Well, it does not odd. I'm trying to think of the right word. It's just interesting. In the whole notion of the poker being a game of skill versus a game of chance, the same players over and over again are going deep in these tournaments, are getting to final tables. They're not necessarily winning it because luck always does play. As Phil Hellmuth once famously said, if it wasn't for luck, I'd win every hand, which is one of my favorite quotes ever, I might add. But it certainly reinforces the notion that poker is very seriously a game of skill. All right, that's going to do it for this segment, folks. I want to thank Brian Wilson joining us from Florida, where he made it back in one piece. Brian, we look forward to seeing you back out here in Las Vegas in a couple of weeks for more at the World Series of Poker. And
Brian Wilson, the 2018 World Series of Poker champion. He just doesn't know it yet.
That's right. He doesn't know it yet.
I like that. I like that sound.
But I believe his wife is already spending the winnings.
Hey, can I borrow some money, Brian?
All right. We're going to have to step aside.
Why not?
This is Fifth Street Sports on the Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio Network, also American Forces. Big hello to our men and women in uniform. I'm Nick. He's Nolan. On the phone is Oklahoma Brian. And we'll be right back with our World Cup picks for tomorrow. Don't go anywhere.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
right, welcome back to the show. It's Street Sports. It is time. That's right. It's time, folks, for World Cup coverage to continue here on Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline USA SB Nation Radio. It's Geber, Nolan, Dalla.
Mikhail Gorbachev?
Yes. And I think it's time that we brought into the mix here our good friend, comrade, Nikolai Webster, to talk about the goings-on in Russia. And we're not talking about the... all right, enough of that stuff with the Russian. You know, we need to get the Red Army choir singing.
Save us, Nick Webster, please.
All right, enough of that. All right.
Oh, that was quite majestic, wasn't it? They're in the eye there for the old Russian bear.
Yes, indeed. All right, Nick, what a day of matches today. We're going to actually talk about today's matches in the next hour. I don't want to get caught up in this segment. I do want to talk about the matches we're going to look forward to tomorrow, because there are some really interesting matchups tomorrow. And, Nick, if I might add, some fascinating odds courtesy of our good friends at betanysports.eu, where if you would care to take a punt or two, you can head over there, sign up right now, use the affiliate code FISTREET, and you can get 50% bonus on your deposit.
Up to
$1,000.
Up to $1,000.
And by the way, I just want to find out, do we still have Oklahoma Brian with us?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Oh, good. All right, Brian. Oklahoma Brian, were you standing up for the Russian national anthem there?
I'm reclined actually right now.
He was standing up watching Russia win 5-0 because I think he probably bet the Russians.
Yes, indeed.
I had the over for sure.
All right, well, guys, let's talk about the matches coming up because we've got basically 3 big matches coming up tomorrow. We're talking about group matches in Group E, matches in Group F. That's what we have tomorrow, and we have Monday. We have matches in Groups G and H. So let's talk about the E and F group matches tomorrow. Let's start, shall we? Serbia, Costa Rica. Serbia are the favorites in this one at -112. Costa Rica a +415. The draw is a +238. The goals are total points at 2. So do you like the over or the under? Nick Webster, how do you feel about this one?
Well, I think Serbia played this really attack-minded 4-2-3-1, and what we've seen in the opening few days of this World Cup is teams are going out there to score goals. It's not like in the old days where everyone's parking the bus and they'll take the 0-0, they'll take the 1-0s. No, teams are really going for it, and Serbia is the kind of team that would love to make a statement, especially on the back of Croatia winning. As you know, they are huge rivals. Costa Rica, meanwhile, haven't had the best of times recently. They've lost, I think, 3 on the bounce, including a 2-0 result to England recently. So they're a bit fragile at the back. I really fancy Serbia in this game, although it could be a little bit tighter than most people think. But I'm going to go for a Serbia 2-0 victory.
Yeah, you know, Nick, I'm actually with you on this one. I think this is a Serbia victory, and right now they're -112. But I'm going to disagree with you, Nick. I'm not sold on Costa Rica at all, and I think defensively they're not that great. I'm going to take the over on this one. You'll take the under, I'm sure. But the funny thing is, the over is -107, and the under is -108. So I guess it's taster's choice, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to really screw them on nice and tight if you're going to make a gamble on the over and under. Perhaps this is a game to miss, because I know there's some great value in some other games, and why take a chance on what the bookies see as a 50-50?
Oklahoma Brian, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna go with the old trusty. I'm gonna bet the draw. That's all I know how to bet, and and I always love going into games with the under. I feel like there's a great amount of value going in with the under, and live betting is usually quick to give you a bargain on the over. So if I think that that I can go in with interactive bet, I'll go in with the under and maybe bite off a little bit of over, 10, 15 minutes into the game.
Nolan?
Well, I liked what Comrade Nick Webster said earlier there about teams coming at this World Cup. Usually they come out playing not to lose. You know, even satisfied with the draw to a certain extent. Boy, we see right out of the match 5-0 with the Russians. We see a 3-3 game with the a phenomenal game. Talk about the best tie you'll ever watch. Yeah. Nobody wants to see a tie. Well, that was a marvelous 3-3 tie. We see a lot of shots on goal, a lot of crosses. Seems to be a much more up tempo. And watching Serbia, and I've seen Serbia play. I think Nick Webster's is dead on. Where Croatia looked really good today. There's now added pressure on Serbia to strike, and given Costa Rica's maybe some weak defense there, I would tend to lean over as well.
Yeah, I'm with you over. By the way.
Sounds like a game with a lot of red cards, isn't it?
Potentially. That is an interesting thought. I didn't think about that, but if there is a match of recently that I could think of where potentially we could have a lot of cards, this might be it. Costa Rica can be a very chippy little team prone to some theatrics, and Serbia are rather large and imposing and physical, and this could be set up for more cards being dealt here than at the World Series of Poker. But we'll have to wait and see. These are really interesting points, guys, because if you listen to our World Cup previews and before, we said typically these early games in the World Cup are very cagey affairs where, you know, getting 1 point is much better than losing that 1 point. So you do tend to find that teams historically have played much more conservatively. But yeah, it's been an absolute fantastic festival of goal scoring and attacking football, and I don't know if that speaks more to the quality of the attackers in football and maybe the poor quality of the defenders overall in world football, but it's a fascinating way to look at it. And I do want to point out, Nick, while we have you on the box, so to speak, our colleague Keith Costigan, yes, Keith Costigan said he didn't expect Portugal to get out of the group. And the funny thing for me is Portugal and Spain so far have looked like absolutely the two best teams in the tournament from all the teams that we've seen so far, by a long shot.
Was there any reason why Keith said that Portugal wouldn't get out of the group? I mean, he must have some scientific data to back such an outrageous claim up. And as you mentioned, they do look like world beaters, and in fact have the world's best player currently in their team. And honestly, the reaction on social media to Ronaldo's performance yesterday has been exactly what I expected. And I saw a wonderful clip. If any of the listeners, viewers have a chance, go to Facebook. And there's this clip of some guy in New York, and he's got his cell phone out, and he's taking a little movie of people actually stopping traffic in Times Square to watch Ronaldo's free kick against Spain yesterday. I mean, really magical. And you think about New York, and it's the city that doesn't stop, and it's, hey, I'm walking here and get out of my way. Well, this Times Square absolutely stood still while Ronaldo batted in that free kick.
Well, you know, we're going to talk about this a lot more in the next hour. We're going to devote more time in the next hour to the World Cup. But that was a match. Really, I'm still smiling thinking about that match. That was really one of the greatest international matches I can remember seeing in a long time. Let's move along, though, because this match is of massive import. The next one here we're looking at is a Group F matchup. It is Mexico against Germany. Germany are the bookies' runners-up favorite to win it. Is that the way you would say it? The
second favorite,
favorite to win the whole tournament.
Co-favorites almost. Really.
Yeah. Very close in terms of odds. In fact, I can tell you that before the tournament, it was plus 425 for Brazil and plus 465 for Germany. So, I mean, again, it's
Brazil a little bit of an easier route. That's maybe the reason. Right. That doesn't mean they're a better team. A little easier route.
A little bit of an easier route. Yeah. And by the way, we're going to talk about that tomorrow, later on in the show too. But Mexico. Nick Webster, plus 657 to win this. The draw is plus 353. Germany minus 199. The thing with the Mexican national team is this. Either you don't get any middle-of-the-road performances from Mexico. Either they show up or they don't. And if they don't show up, the 2.5 goal point total for this is going to be an over very easily because Germany can whomp them if they don't show up. But if they do show up, and Germany maybe doesn't have the best day, this match could go either way. Nick, how do you see it?
Well, the interesting thing at the moment is that usually there's so much drama surrounding the Mexican national team. And much like England, they've come into this tournament, everything's very settled. The management is very happy. The players are getting along with each other. And they do have match winners. Now, of course, you can't look further than Chicharito. And on the other side of the coin, I keep on reading reports coming out of Germany that there's a lot of nervousness surrounding the national team. They don't feel like they're in the same place mentally and physically as they were in 2014. Joachim Low, the team manager, has been around the block, 3,000 times, and he's getting a little, rusty, a little long in the tooth.
Yeah.
So
complacent, maybe?
From the vibes I'm getting is, you could be right, Nick. Germany could be ripe for a little upset, and if one team's going to do it, because this I believe that this game will decide who wins the group.
I do too. This is a good one to bet on. I like this one. If you like a little gamble, I don't see much value in Germany at -199, but if you like a little gamble here, Mexico at +657 for the biggest upset of the tournament so far.
And Mexico lost about a week and a half ago. They had a match where they lost 2-0.
Yes.
And talk about it. That's a swift kick in the tail to that team. By the way, a real quick statistic. I don't know if it translates onto the field, but if in terms of ticket sales, I saw something interesting today. Ticket sales in Russia for all the games. The biggest three, obviously Russians buy tickets because that's their home thing. United States, because that's where the money is, a lot of people. Brazil, third. By the way, fourth,
is
Mexico.
Yeah.
Buying tickets, traveling all the way. A lot of people aren't traveling from Mexico to see their team get stomped.
That's not Carlos Slim buying up an entire stadium?
Maybe so.
Yeah, I mean, look.
To Nolan's point, Nick, in 2006 I was in Germany, and the Mexicans traveled in droves. There was approximately 15 to 20,000 Mexican supporters who had traveled from Mexico City and the U.S. to come and support their team. So, don't underestimate the power of fan support inside the stadium, because I've got a good feeling there's going to be more Mexican supporting the Germans. And, we have to look at the historical factor as well. I'm not saying that the Russian fans are going to be supporting Germany either, circa 1944. So there's going to be a lot of fan support for Mexico, and that could be the little push they need to get them over the edge.
Yeah, the Germans have not historically performed well in Russia.
Yeah, 1941 it started off well, but ended poorly. All right, look, very quickly, we're running out of time. I've still got one more match to get to. We're going to have to hold it over till after the break. So let's give us this bit. Nick, how are you going to bet this one? It's 2.5. Is the total goals here? How are you going to bet it, Webster? Quickly.
I'm going to go Mexico for the draw.
Mexico with and the draw, or Mexico. Okay. How about you, Nolan?
I think you have to go with Mexico based on what you've said for the reasons you've said.
Well, it's a gamble, but it's going to.
The value's there.
It's +657. Yeah. Oklahoma, Brian.
So I have a strong opinion on this. I like the first half draw and the first half under.
Okay, there we go. He's doing the under. Right, look at that. All
First
right,
half.
we're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll rejoin Nick Webster for a very quick segment where we're going to give you very quickly our picks for the Switzerland-Brazil match, which is the Group E matchup. When we come back on Fifth Street Sports here on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio, we'll be right back.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more.
800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Do you use the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
All right, we're back on Fifth Street Sports. Nick Geber, Nolan, Dalla. We have Oklahoma Brian and Nick Webster, who'll rejoin us in the next hour, by the way. But right now, let's wrap up our picks for Sunday's matches in the World Cup. This is going to make this really quick, guys, but it shouldn't take long on this one. This is a Group E matchup. It's Switzerland-Brazil. Currently at betaniesports.eu, Switzerland are plus 857, Brazil minus 235. The draw is plus 370. For me personally, guys, I'm not betting any of that because I think Brazil are going to win this game. The over-under is interesting, though. It's a 2.5 goal total points, and the under at Bet Any Sports is plus 101. I kind of like that one. Webster?
I'm not sure if I agree with you, Nick. Brazil are the darlings of the tournament. They have perhaps the most explosive front line since you had a dodgy curry the other night down at the takeaway. You've got Neymar, you've got Gabriel Jesus. It's just an embarrassment of riches. And I believe that Brazil will want to make this opening game a statement. Switzerland, quite remarkably, ranked number 3, number 4 in the world. Brazil, number 2. They're trying to recover from the humiliation of the 7-1 defeat against Germany in 2014. Brazil to come out all guns blazing and to absolutely wipe the floor with Switzerland. Take the over.
Wow. You like the over.
Wow.
I like the under. He says tomato, I say tomato. Actually, he says tomato as well. So let's say Oklahoma Brian says tomato. This still doesn't work in context. But okay, so there you have two conflicting viewpoints. Let's ask Oklahoma Brian, how do you see this one?
I like Brazil laying 1.25 goals. That's my bet on the game.
Oh, nice. Okay, there you go. Brazil laying 1.25 goals. That's Oklahoma Brian. We got to go. We'll be back with hour number 2. All right, Nolan.
All right, real quick. I say bet the draw, maybe bet the under. Switzerland's playing for the tie here. Switzerland, a history of performing well. They always get to the cup. As Nick Webster said, this is a team with a good pedigree. I think they keep this game closer than people think.
It's because you're yellow and you camouflage yourself in the chair. My apologies. All right, let's go. Let's step aside, take a break. We'll be back with hour number 2, Fifth Street Sports. Coming up, loads more World Cup coverage, including our picks for Monday's game. Don't go anywhere, folks. Stay with us right here on the Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Networks.
For USA Radio News, I'm Rick Vincent. President Donald Trump attacks Democrats in Congress over immigration in his weekly address, blaming the party for refusing to close loopholes that allow gang members, including MS-13, into the U.S.
Democrats in Congress have opposed every measure that would close these immigration loopholes and bring the slaughter to an end.
In his video message, Trump singled out House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, accusing her of trying to protect MS-13 members, who he described as animals. Pelosi, meanwhile, criticizes the Trump administration of separating families who've been detained at the border.
There's no policy justification for this. It's all political. The president is throwing red meat to his base when he does that. He's using children, whether they're dreamers or whether they're little children at the border now, for a political purpose. It's shameful.
You're listening to USA Radio News.
Wayne Allen Root for Bullet Blocker. I love these guys. Sometimes you find a product and you go, wow, why didn't I think of that? Trained as an Army Ranger and former deputy sheriff, Joe Curran invented the world's first bulletproof backpack. Now Joe has built a successful made-in-the-USA company that offers bullet-resistant products for your most precious asset, your children. Backpacks, bulletproof clothing, vests, briefcase, and more. Bullet Blocker gives your kids the gift of life. Stylish clothing that protects like police body armor. Go to bulletblocker.com and enter code WAR to save 10%. That's bulletblocker.com, bulletblocker.com.
I used to wonder why people took their own pillows into the hotels with them till I got on my pillow, and I go everywhere with mine. Stays cool all night, keeps its shape, 60-day money-back guarantee, and a 10-year warranty, made in the USA. Go to MyPillow.com. Click on the 4-pack special, enter promo code USA. You get 2 MyPillow premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows for half off. Go to MyPillow.com or call 1-800-951-8175. Use promo code USA.
As many as 2,000 immigrant children have been separated from their parents over a 6-week period, according to Homeland Security. Attorney Jeff Sessions quoted the Bible recently, saying in Romans, Paul says to obey the government's laws. But Episcopalian Bishop Michael Curry says Sessions could use a Bible lesson.
It is not good to separate children from their parents. You don't need rocket science. You don't need a PhD in ethics and philosophy to understand that.
President Donald Trump's former presidential campaign manager, Paul Manafort, is awaiting his trial from behind bars today. Manafort was sent to jail yesterday after a federal judge revoked his bail on charges he faces for money laundering and fraud stemming from special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. Parkland school shooting survivors held a large rally last night in Chicago. The teens were joined by A-list celebrities and also former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, who was shot in the head during an outdoor town hall in 2011.
Protect our children, our students. Let them lead the way.
Giffords called for an end to gun violence. This is USA Radio News.
With the recession ending, if you've been putting off building your business, now is the time to act. General Steel will meet or beat any price on a pre-engineered steel building of the same size and specifications. Act now, before steel prices go up. So call us today for free information.
Call 800-965-1290. 800-965-1290, 800-965-1290.
What effect will President Trump's announced tariff on $50 billion in Chinese imports have on the economy? Professor Joseph Foudy of New York University's Stern School of Business says by itself it shouldn't have much.
Might knock 0.5% of GDP out, but the economy right now is firing on all cylinders. We're in a world where we're picking trade spats with Canada, with Europe, with China, all at once. That could really hurt the economy.
The threat of a trade war jolted financial markets Friday, sending the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 220 points in mid-afternoon trading. As many as 17 people, including 8 minors, were killed at a crowded Caracas club early Saturday when a tear gas canister was detonated, setting off a stampede. Venezuelan officials said the deaths occurred after a brawl broke out during a middle school graduation party, and someone detonated the tear gas, sending more than 500 people rushing for the exits. First it was self-driving cars, now it's self-driving motorcycles. Torquil Ross Martin, a British inventor, came up with the first prototype. He spoke to Sky News and says self-driving motorcycles could one day be safer than those driven by people. He says that's because human minds tend to be on matters other than the road.
You're not necessarily completely focused on what you're doing. You're thinking about what you're going to do when you get to the office, or whether you're running late, or all these kinds of things. That's the sort of area in which it will improve the safety for commuters.
The BMW C1 can reportedly steer.
All right, stand by. Brian is still there on the phone.
For USA Radio News, I'm Rick Vincent.
Here's an urgent alert from the Student Loan Hotline. The average
Brian is ready. Stand by.
$5,000. Have you been out of college for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? If you are struggling with paying off your student loan, if you are past due, Nationwide Student Loan Relief can now restructure your student loans. We can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop harassing collection calls, even eliminate your student loan payment. If you can't afford your student loans, or if you're past due and you need help, you must call right now. We will restructure your loan or your money back, and that's a guarantee. So call the Student Loan Hotline right now. 800-949-8707, 800-949-8707, 800-949-8707, 800-949-8707.
Welcome to Fifth Street Sports here on the Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Networks. I'm Nick Geber, along with Nolan Dalla, special guest Andrew Geber here in the studio with us, and we are also joined on the phone by Oklahoma Brian in, of all places, Oklahoma. Before we go anywhere with this hour of the show, Nolan, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking another French wine. I'm very partial to dry, white French wines in the summer. It's very crisp and cool, and this is a nice way to stay hydrated.
Oh, indeed.
That's my excuse.
The alcohol's
Anyway.
not dehydrated.
I'm sticking to that. By the way, I just heard that our special guest for the first time usually runs our control panel. The last name was Geber. Gee, that sounds like a familiar last name. Welcome, Andrew.
It's great to be here. Unfortunately, that's my last name.
What do you mean, unfortunately? I'm going to strike you from the annals of any inheritance. I do have two other sons that could inherit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Remember that.
I'm not the only heir. Heir.
Well, you know what? We've got a lot to get to this segment. Before we do, I'd just like to mention that we are brought to you by Affordable Autos Pahrump. If you'd like a great car, easy financing, a wonderful experience all along, and you're in the Las Vegas area, visit them online at Affordable Autos Pahrump.
Over the rump to Pahrump.
Pahrump. Or give him a call and speak to Big Jack at 702-807-0607 and tell him Fifth Street Sports sent you over. Let's get to it, this segment, because there's some interesting things going on in the gaming world, and we're going to be right back with that.
Oh, we've got so much to talk about.
I know.
Yes, we do.
Real
quick.
Move along quickly.
U.S. Open golf, esports, and college baseball.
College baseball,
Yes.
Nolan, you say, but the World Cup is going on. Well, we're going to talk about it all. And there's something going on with Fortnite, right, Andrew?
Yeah, there definitely is, and there's some very interesting things happening in that realm of, gaming.
Well,
So,
stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back after these messages to kick it all off here on Fifth Street Sports.
What's Fortnite?
Clear.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
All right, welcome back. Fifth Street Sports, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio. Big hello to our men and women in uniform around the world listening to us on American Forces Network. It is great to be with you. Also, we're on iHeartRadio and TuneIn. And I do want to just welcome all the people listening on the affiliate stations of our two big networks, SB Nation Radio and Sports Byline USA. We are brought to you by betanysports.eu, which is a terrific place to place a little punt if you would like to do that. Put a little bet down. Go to betanysports.eu. It's very easy to do, and they're very friendly to U.S. people that want to bet from the U.S. Very, very easy to do, folks. Go to betanysports.eu and sign up now. Use the affiliate code 5th Street and get 50% bonus on your deposit up to $1,000. All right, I'm Nick Geber. He's Nolan Dalla. With me is Andrew Geber. Yes, you may recognize the last name.
And the facial features. We look very
if you're
similar.
Watching on YouTube, yes. He
Yeah,
looks
but
like
but here's the thing: is
thinner version of me.
Yes, but Andrew, with all due respect, Nick, Andrew, you really know what you're talking about. You're going to be discussing some esports today and some other things. We're really glad to have you on the show. First time.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me. I have been known to enjoy watching watching some esports and/or playing some of those games that make it onto the live streamed esport channels, et cetera, et cetera. So.
Well, let's get to it. And by the way, we have Oklahoma Brian from Oklahoma with us. And Oklahoma Brian, we've been talking about the growth of esports gaming and betting. It's sort of the next great explosive marketplace, short of a bad dinner at the Mexican restaurant.
Oh, my goodness.
But I'm wondering, and we'll get to Andrew in a second and Fortnite, but I'm wondering how much this devaluation of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies are hurting betting in the e-gaming marketplace.
Yeah, I've heard the same discussion. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much I really believe that's the case. But yeah, that's one theory that that this is basically taking away a lot of the wealth of the guys that were the big originators, big bettors in esports. Also, I'm not sure I believe the viewer statistics that I've seen posted on a lot of these esports live streaming shows, but there certainly is a following to it. I don't personally get it, but I'm willing to get behind it if it's the next big thing.
Well, it's interesting, Andrew. I mean, you and I looked at Twitch a number of weeks ago. Now, you're on there all the time, but I looked at it a couple of weeks ago. And, there are videos on Twitch forget the guy playing video games with the green screen and the video game going on behind him and the 200,000 people watching it. But there are videos of girls singing to pianos, electric pianos, and they got 50,000 people watching these videos. It reminds me of the early days of YouTube, where everybody was watching the YouTube videos, and it was Facebook and Facebook videos, and a million people are watching a cat smoking a cigar, which, by the way, I would pay to watch if that were really out there. How much of this is core gaming constituency, do you think, Andrew, and how much of it is just sort of pass-through, people that are going to outgrow
voyeurism is the question.
Yeah, voyeurism. How much is voyeurism, and how much of this is core gamers on places like Twitch?
So I think when you're talking about Twitch specifically as just a medium, as a place where content creators go and people come to watch, I think using the YouTube comparison is actually very interesting, because you look at YouTube and it's as a platform for people to reach out to and garner a community. It's gone through a lot of ups and downs on its own.
Transformations.
And a lot of transformations. And I think considering how lucrative YouTube is now as a platform to be on, the shift in I don't know the exact word, lucrativity. How profitable it is for people to get on YouTube.
You graduated cum laude, too.
I did, and I don't know my words.
You're making up words. That's even more impressive.
Yeah, I guess that's why you get the degree, right? So you can pretend like you know things. But this shift in profitability has, I think, driven a lot of people towards Twitch as a place to start getting. To give you an example here, you make a lot of money on YouTube through how many views you get and the ads that essentially get placed on it, right? Right. On Twitch, you can get straight donations from your community that goes straight to you, pretty much through PayPal or whatever other means.
Have you seen this, Nolan?
A bit, yes.
It's like, I'm singing. If you want me to sing Springtime for Hitler in Germany from the producers, send me $50.
In a sense, it's an ultimate in the sense of freedom or libertarianism. Yes, in a way.
It's pretty open, and what makes money on YouTube has gotten stricter and stricter, and there are a lot of
less money and less money.
And there are less money, and there is less money, but. On Twitch, they just recently. You talk about the piano, the person on the piano. They just recently, a few months ago, brought out this IRL section. So originally, Twitch was really just gaming.
That stands for in real life.
Yeah, in real life. They expanded this IRL section because I think people want to reach out in a more profitable way. Honestly, if we're looking at just the money alone. Twitch is probably a more profitable venture if you have the community. That's the one thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about community, because I know Fortnite, which is a video game, has a massive community, and it's one of the fastest growing games out there. Tell us a little bit about some of the big news coming out of the Fortnite camp.
So just recently, Epic Games, the developer of Fortnite, an insanely popular free-to-play battle royale game. I know that's a lot of words for people that don't know, exactly what I'm talking about here. Epic Games just recently announced that they're going to invest $100 million, I believe, into their first year of esports for Fortnite Battle Royale. And that is huge. That is massive. And it is massive because Epic Games investing, that is the most amount of money invested in esports, period. Especially for specifically from one developer to a single game. It's so much money that it is $100 million is, I think it is matched by the next 3 or 4 competitors in the esports scene combined. I mean, $100 million, don't necessarily quote me on that, but I read a figure somewhere where that was about it.
So Epic Games and Fortnite are looking to become the #1 money esport brand, let's say, because, esports like saying the Olympics. You've got track and field, you've got hockey, you've got nose picking, you've got downslip bob. All these new crazy Olympic things they have. But so esports is sort of a big description. This is a one vertical, shall we say, within it. But we'll follow this along with you, Andrew, because they're going to be announcing some huge Fortnite tournaments with big prize pools, and the betting on that is going to be insane. So we're going to come back. We're going to check in with you on that. In the meantime, let's quickly check in with Oklahoma, Brian, because I know we still wanted to talk a little bit about the U.S. Open. Brian, you got 1 minute. Is it Dustin Johnson all the way, and that's it?
Well, it looks like we're in the midst of another Dustin Johnson meltdown.
Really?
Yeah.
Meltdown?
Yeah.
We haven't seen the results today.
Well, can we speak about the results today, or is that?
Yes, of course we can.
Okay.
It's not like we know them before they happen.
Give us 15 seconds. What's going on?
15 seconds. I think he was out partying hard last night, and it's showing it today. He double bogeyed the second hole, and last I checked, he was like 5 over for the day.
Wow. So who's currently on top?
Currently on top is Brooks Koepka.
Wow, that sounds like something you get at the deli.
or maybe in a house of ill repute. You know.
Yeah.
So we got another day. We got Sunday coming up. You have a pick. Is there anything you like going into Sunday's final round of the U.S. Open?
I like Justin Rose, actually. He's 2 off the lead. He always plays well on Sundays. That would be my pick.
All right, there you have it, the big pick for the U.S. Open. Andrew, thank you so much. We'll be checking in with you from time to time about the e-gaming world, and we're also going to be reconnecting with Cody Longo from Esports Insider. The two of you guys are going to be carrying our esports coverage going forward. That's great to have you on.
You were good, Andrew.
Yeah, well done.
You really
Thanks.
were.
You get we'll put a good performance review in with your boss. All right, this is Fifth Street Sports. We'll be right back after this on the Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network.
You're clear.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
All right, welcome back. Fifth Street Sports, Sports Byline, USA, SB Nation Radio, American Forces, iHeart, TuneIn, just about everywhere.
Yeah.
We're coming to you from the basement here at Fifth Street in Las Vegas, where it is hot here in Las Vegas right now. By the way, Nick, Geber, Nolan, Dalla, Oklahoma, Brian, and Nick Webster will be joining us in a second. It's very hot here, Nolan. And even though it's hot, you know, you can hold down those outrageous utility bills. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call Array Solar. It's your home for solar business. It's never been easier to get solar. There's still time as we get into these hot months to ditch that huge payment to Nevada Energy or whatever your energy company is, wherever you live.
Quit burning oil. Quit destroying the planet. Go solar.
Go solar. Call now for your free consultation. 702-919-9934. Mention radio. Get a $500 gift card when you install your new solar system from Array. One more time, that's 702-919-9934. Call now and say no to that big utility. I like that.
That was very good. You did it off the top of your head,
Thank
too.
you. All right. Do we have Nick Webster with us by any chance? We might. Oh, there he is.
There he is, like magic.
So, you know what? I almost feel like I have to do this, guys. So I think I am. Here we go.
Oh. Are we going to get Deutschland über alles in a few days? Probably not from you.
Well, we'll have Gunter Prien on, who is the sports correspondent for Der Stürmer. We'll come on and talk maybe about the German team. But enough of that. All right. So, Nick Webster, welcome back. The discussion, of course, global football. And the
At
World
least we
Cup.
didn't get God Save the Queen.
Which one in her fascist regime? The Sex Pistols were. Right?
I feel like I should have an Ushanka, one of those Russian hats.
I think you should, Nick, and I think we should get it and bill it to Fifth Street Sports. Maybe we can get one with a Fifth Street Sports logo on it. So, football, global football, once every 4 years, the quadrennial massive event. It's here, of course, for those of us who live, breathe, and make a living through football over the years. It is just shining a light onto the game that we all love and follow. For many, and that light is now being shone onto it for many people who are casual fans. And you know, there's a horrible saying I hear around there when announcers say, "Oh, there's a no better advertisement for the game," which is a terrible thing to say. I can't stand it. But I tell you what, that Spain-Portugal match was a fabulous billboard for the game of football, soccer. Excuse me,
gentlemen. I have a question to ask you, and from the accent, you'll tell I'm the lone American in this triumvirate of intellect. But I have heard a lot of people talk about Messi, who plays for Argentina, and there was this discussion about Messi and his greatness and lifting his team to greatness. This is probably his last World Cup. And then Ronaldo playing for Portugal and what he did with his hat trick of 3 goals, playing against a phenomenal team. Here, I'll let you pitch something at you and tell me if where I'm right or wrong. You do think too much is made of the if Messi makes that penalty kick, if he makes the penalty kick, they obviously Argentina ties Iceland, which is devastating for Argentina. But if he makes the penalty kick, the headline tomorrow morning is Messi scores winning goal in penalty. Yeah. So are we putting too much on one game, one kick, and of course Ronaldo 3 goals against a world-class Spanish opponent? Are we making too much out of one day's action?
Well, you know, from my position, you know, you're looking at the two best players in the world at any one given time. There was about 3 or 4 players that one could put into that category, but Messi and Ronaldo are always in that discussion. You know, whether or not you think they're the best players ever to play the game is a discussion for another time. But I think you saw the difference between Cristiano Ronaldo, who is for me the biggest big game player ever. He shows up, he gets it done. And, you know, one of the things to remember about Ronaldo is this guy wasn't just under the pressure and expectations of the European champions coming to play at the World Cup and having a sort of fairly mediocre team around him. Let's be honest. The team's really good, but it's not like an incredible team he's got around him. Just 2 days before, he was sentenced to 2 years suspended prison sentence and $20 million fine for tax problems in Spain, of all places. You think that Spanish magistrate is probably really regretting making that a suspended sentence for Mr. Ronaldo. But you know, when you look at it, that to me, Nolan, is a big game player. Unlike Messi, who didn't. By the way, I want to make clear, Messi didn't miss a penalty. Messi had a penalty saved. I mean, I hear everyone saying, oh, he missed a penalty. No, he didn't. The bloke from Peru today, he missed the penalty. Yeah. Messi just had his penalty saved. But I think that is a bit of a difference. And I think there is enormous pressure right now on young, I like to call him Leonid, because it's of course Russia, you know, like Brezhnev, Messi. But Lionel Messi, of course, you know, I just think the pressure on him is enormous right now. What do you think, Webster?
Well, when I look at Lionel Messi play or Leonard Messi play for Barcelona, this is a young man who plays the game with a smile on his face. He plays with so much freedom, so much excitement, and he expresses himself at every single opportunity. When he plays for Argentina, and I would love for you to go back and look at the game. This is a man that does not smile. He does not seem to enjoy playing soccer for his national team. And as anybody who's played the game at a high level will tell you, the more you smile, the more you embrace what's going on around you and your circumstances, the better you are to deal with it. It looked today when Messi took that penalty, he wanted to be anywhere in the world but taking that penalty for him. I'm surprised that Sergio Aguero, who scored a magnificent goal, didn't say to Lionel today, you know what, son, I'll take it and I'll bang it away. Yeah,
comrade Leonid Messi is not performing as he should. He must need some more performance enhancements.
I don't understand something. Why are you suggesting he's not comfortable or not in his element there? You would think that, again, obviously a great player like Messi, an astonishing career. This is what, his third cup, I think he's played, a third cup series. Why would he not be comfortable? Why would he not cherish that moment, Nick Webster?
Okay, so Nolan, you know, what you have to remember about Messi, and people forget this, you know, obviously, yes, he plays with the Argentinian shirt on. He's the captain of the team. Lionel Messi left Argentina when he was 13 years of age. He's lived in Spain for the last 17 years. He is really Spanish to the core. And when he goes back to Argentina, he's not loved because he lives over in Spain. He left Argentina at a young age. He's never really played professional soccer for an Argentinian club. And he's always compared to one man, Nolan. That man, Diego Maradona, who seems to embody everything that Argentinians love.
He's
about
Mr. Soccer
football.
in Argentina, Maradona, sure.
He's Mr. Soccer, but it's not only what Maradona did on the field, it's what Maradona did off the field. I mean, he was larger than life in every single aspect. Messi, when he's not on the soccer field, you wouldn't even know he was alive. And Argentinians, I think, are very exuberant people. And they want to see that in their players. And the fact that Messi doesn't show those qualities, they've never truly loved him. And I know, as bizarre as that seems, in the world of soccer, being loved is perhaps the most important thing you can give a player.
And of course, today's result did not go very far to making him loved. Of course, this isn't the first time that the Argentinians have lost or not won a battle against a small island nation.
Ooh,
but
Falklands.
Oh, sorry about that. But look, the Argentine team is a bit of a mess. To be fair, they're either all there or they're a complete disaster in the locker room. The problem is not the individual quality of the players.
They're the Italians of South America.
No, not even that. I mean, they really are a national team that requires all the necessary chemistry bits to be in place. You know, it's funny. The announcer, I forget who it was. It was Tony Yagata Miola today.
Your favorite.
Tony,
you gotta do this. was saying that in the one thing he did say was when watching the France match today was he said, the French team, he expects them after an ugly victory, I think is the way to put it, fair enough, that they're a team that would grow into the tournament. And I thought that was actually quite right. I thought that was a really interesting thing he said. I don't really expect the Argentine team to grow into anything. They're either going to turn on or turn off. And right now they seem like they're pretty much off.
Well, I think, Nick, when we did preview this game yesterday, we looked at this Iceland team, and it wasn't looking at them as individuals. We looked at them as a group that would come together, much like they did in 2016. And I if I'm not mistaken, we did say go the under on this game at 1-1.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Yes. You're Bob in the bag on that one.
I do believe your right arm has grown longer, Nick, from patting yourself on the back so much.
And counting all the delicious money. Yes.
That's right. Absolutely.
And so I as much as Argentina were the favorites in this game, I'm not terribly surprised that Iceland went out and got a result. And the best thing about it is it's turned this group completely upside down. And if we thought there was pressure on Argentina now, oh my Lord, can you imagine the next two games? It's going to be ridiculous. I mean, if Argentina didn't qualify for the knockout rounds, it would be a monumental upset. But honestly, I'm not going to put it past them.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nick. That we did say that they were one of the giants that might well be taken out of this tournament. It's interesting to see. And again, you compare every team you've seen so far, I don't see anyone better than Spain or Portugal as of right now in the tournament. But some matches coming up on Monday morning. We're going to cover those when we come back here on This Week Sports. Go England. We'll be right back after this. By the way, we're brought to you by BetAnySports.eu. Sign up now with the code FISTREET. Get a 50% bonus on your deposit up to $1,000. Think on that.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from Resort Release, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares. Once you've made that decision to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, Resort Release is offering a Better Business Bureau accredited way to legally get rid of your timeshare, guaranteed. We guaranteed to get rid of your timeshare payments permanently. Even if you've tried another company to get rid of your expensive timeshare, call now and see if we can help you. At Resort Release, you don't pay anything until you're ready. If you're ready to learn how to permanently get rid of your costly timeshare, make this complimentary free call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
All right, well, politically incorrect is you, Nolan Dalla.
Yes,
All right, welcome
indeed.
back to the show, Fifth Street Sports. Nick Geber, Nolan Dalla, Oklahoma Brian is on the phone from Oklahoma, and speaking to us through the miracles of this sort of weird digital box thing we have is Nick Webster, who is, yes, in the box. Not in the penalty box, because we don't have those yet in global football. We are, of course, talking about the World Cup. And before we get to our picks, because we said we would give you our picks for the Monday matches, and let me just run down what they are very quickly. It's South Korea, Sweden, it's Panama, Belgium, and England, Tunisia. And I tell you what, a lot of people might say these are, three of the sort of slightly less interesting matchups than we've had. If you're a fan of any one of these teams, of course, they're not. But I wouldn't say any of these I would consider mouth-watering draws. Before we get to that, a couple of pieces of housekeeping. We'd like to welcome you to the show. And, of course, if you are watching this show, would like to see previous episodes, or we do a lot of specials and all this sorts of stuff. I don't know what this sorts of stuff mean, but, I mean, we do a lot of video specials, and we just got a wonderful thing on you sat down with Doyle Brunson, the poker legend. We've got a lot of stuff like this that you can see. Great content that you can see at fifthstreetsports.com.
fifthstreetsports.com. Go there in case you've missed any of the shows and want to watch Nick Webster and Nick Geber talk about the World Cup. We've got 3 things up there right now. We're talking about the best live dogs, the favorites, some surprises. You've got it all there at fifthstreetsports.com.
Right, and you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/fifthstreetsportstalk. And we can have a little Twitter action going on. I know it sounds dirty, but it's really not. You can find us at Fifth Street Sports. All right, before we get to these matches, where was I going with this? Let's take care of the matches.
Where were you going?
I don't remember. I'm going crazy. Nick Webster,
South Korea,
Let's
Sweden.
get to these
go.
matches. South Korea, Sweden. Now, this is interesting. These odds are courtesy of BetAnySports.eu, where I encourage everyone to head to immediately and sign up, place a large deposit, and get 50% on your bonus on your deposit up to $1,000 by using affiliate code Fifth Street. But South Korea currently plus 339, Sweden plus 108. Now remember, this is a Swedish team without a certain Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who has been carrying this Swedish team for a long time. They will, of course, be disciplined and tight, and they will be conditioned and ready to go. But at plus 108, I think there's a mistake on the odds here, Nolan, because I looked them up, but they've both got pluses in front of them. Plus 339 for South Korea, plus 108 for Sweden, plus 219 for the draw. What do you say? You bet all of them?
Well, what you're suggesting maybe is, and before we go to Nick and Brian, it just sound like you're talking about a match maybe made for the draw. It's this one.
I actually would likely agree with you. I like the draw on this, plus 219. Nick Webster, what thinks you?
I actually like Sweden this one. I think South Korea, they don't travel particularly well. And Sweden have this habit, and we've spoken about this in our World Cup preview shows, they have this habit of always getting out of the group. And more often than not, they get out of the group as winners.
Yeah.
Very cohesive team. They really come together. There's a lot of character, a lot of discipline. I don't see a high-scoring game, but I definitely see Sweden winning this one quite comfortably.
All right, so he says Sweden wins it comfortably. Nolan says a draw. I like the value on the draw. I'm not sure we'll get a draw, but I like the value of the draw at plus 219. Sweden at plus 108, though. That seems to me like a nice bet as well.
I mean, I've got a spare $20 in my pocket right now, and it's going to be put on those magical Swedes. Zlatan or no Zlatan, and to be honest with you, I think the fact that Zlatan's not there, it takes such a distraction away from the Swedish team. They can get down to doing what they do best, and that's playing soccer.
All right, and the total points on this one is 2. Over or under on this one, Nick?
I'm very tempted to go under.
Yeah, I am an under on this one as
What's
well.
Oklahoma Brian say?
Brian's going to go with the draw.
He's going to bet the draw.
That's my default.
Right.
Yeah, when in doubt, that's Brian.
When in doubt, bet the draw. What about the over-under, Brian?
You know, I think I agree with you guys. I think I'd go under as well.
Okay. So we've got one draw.
By the way, I didn't get a chance to mention this, and I don't know if you guys did, but in the comparisons of Ronaldo to Messi to Maradona, don't forget, not only did Ronaldo beat Messi on the field yesterday, he also beat him in tax evasion, 20 million to 18.
That's true.
And Maradona, don't forget, the greatest of all time, $48 million tax evasion.
Well, there you go. You see, no one beats the great Diego Maradona.
Yeah. So just trying to break things down scientifically.
Well, it's interesting. If we talk, I tell you what, let's finish with the matches, and we'll come back to the discussion, because I do love this discussion about great athletes, great players, and what they mean to the sport. But let's keep going. The next match is in the English Group G. It is Panama, Belgium, the draw, and the over and the under. And for my money on this one, Belgium is going to win this game.
Maybe the biggest mismatch of the entire first round.
There's really no value here. The over is minus 140. The under is plus 125. The total points 2.5. There's no value. I mean, the draw is plus 683. I can't see this being a draw. The Belgium team's very strong. For me, I see Belgium winning this one, and at minus 549, there's nothing here for me. So for me, I'm just going to pass on this one. Nolan?
Well, this is what I call, in the NFL betting, we would call this a bridge jumper game. In other words, you line up at the bridge and you dive off if Belgium somehow gets upset or draws. I mean, Belgium's so far superior. It's like, again, I'll use the American analogy, it's like the New England Patriots playing the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Cleveland's not going to win this game, and again, Panama is not going to beat Belgium. And Belgium, by the way, this is a team that's capable of winning the whole thing. Let's make it very clear. Panama just very lucky to even get a bid. So the question is, does Belgium want to run up the score? If you look at some of the betting, you've got to lay goals. Well, does Belgium want to win 2-3-0, 4-0? I don't know, but I will say that this is just one of those games that prohibitive favorite Belgium, rightly so. Nick Webster?
Well, as Nolan rightly puts out, Belgium, one of the most stacked teams in the tournament. They have quality in every position. I think this game is actually important, though, for one reason. Who's going to come first and second in this group? And conventional wisdom says it will be Belgium and England. They meet in the last group game. I believe whoever scores the most goals against Panama, and I'm projecting Belgium and England wins, of course, but whoever scores the most goals out of these two teams will win the group and potentially have an easier second round game. So I expect Belgium to put their foot firmly on the pedal to ram it down Panama's throat. And if they don't score 3 or 4, I think it will be a disappointing day at the office for the Red Devils.
Does that mean you like the over? Does that mean you like the over also?
Well, I do kind of like the over on this one, but I've seen Panama play a very, very defensive game where they've packed it all in at the back. And when teams do that, if that's how they come out to play, it can be very, very difficult to break them down, even when you have the best team in the world out there playing. So if that's how Panama come out, and as Nick was pointed out in the last hour, the nice thing about this World Cup is that's typically not how teams have come out. I don't put the Panamanians, I wouldn't write that tactic off for the Panamanians. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how they come out to play, to try to slow
Nick,
down.
I would say this, though. I don't think the Panamanians are good enough to park the bus.
That's possibly true, too.
If we were looking at a fine defensive team, a Denmark, a Sweden, someone who really knows the art of defending and
Egypt. Egypt.
Yeah, and Egypt and can hold out for 90 minutes. Uruguay is another great team that can just grind and grind and grind. Panama aren't good enough to do that.
Yeah, I think take the over on this one. It's a Panama could potentially pack it in, but this isn't even a shadow of a half decent Panamanian team like we've seen before. This is one of the weaker teams in the entire tournament. So take the over. I wouldn't bet much anything else on this. Certainly wouldn't take Brian Allen's draw. Brian, you're not taking the draw on this. Tell me you're not taking the draw.
Plus 670. Taking it.
You're taking it. I've actually got plus 683 at BetterDaySports.eu. So you see some value in the draw. So, Brian's just draw. That's fine, Brian. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? You're going to take the over?
I laid the goals in Brazil, for the record.
Okay, but Brian, are you taking the over on this?
No, No, because that doesn't correlate with the draw.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm
The
taking
over
the
doesn't
draw,
correlate.
and
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
No,
But
I'm taking the draw, and I'm going
to stick up for Brian, if he'd taken the draw in all 7 games so far in this tournament, he'd be way ahead because he would have got the draw from the Argentina-Iceland game that paid off massive. So, Brian, there's a method to your madness.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And I should have had a couple more. I should have had the Iran-Morocco game.
Yeah, that's right. Last-minute goal, 93rd minute.
Rob, I know.
Sure.
I know. Las Vegas Frank was sobbing quietly into his drink.
So typical of a bettor. He's ahead money. He's bitching about the one game he lost.
Right. All right, let's go to the next match. It's England, Tunisia, and Nick. I'm going to just basically say to what you said in the last match, ditto. Ditto. It's going to be the team that scores the most goals are going to get through off this one. Tunisia, a better team than Panama. Let's say that Tunisia are they are definitely a better team than Panama. They are still not one of the stronger teams out here in the tournament, but they are a better team, and they may well be capable of parking the bus. But this young English squad, with all the speed and pace and conditioning that they have, and I believe self-belief and lack of pressure from the English press, I think they're going to win this one, Nick. This and England are minus 230. But the draw, Brian Allen, is plus 369. It's looking a little juicy, maybe, but I do see England winning it. It's just whether it's an over or an under. The under is minus 132, so obviously the bookies are thinking not too many goals in this one. What think you, Nick Webster?
Yeah, I'm definitely agreeing with the bookies on this one. I think a typical England opening performance in World Cups is generally like a 1-0 or a 2-0 win. They're not going to set the tournament alight in the group stages, and I think Gareth Southgate, the England manager, is very aware of the expectations back home. They're so much lower than they usually are, and I think just getting out of the group is the main factor. And as we know from World Cups past, you can't lose the first game. I expect England to get the 1 goal in front and then just really try and kill the game off and show a bit more professionalism and a little bit more, I'd say, cutthroat mentality than we've seen from England teams in the past. But England to win this one, I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0. So let's take the under on this one and take England. England is at minus 230, not much value. Nolan, how are you going on this?
Well, I think Tunisia has some value here, and one of the reasons, as we talk about, there's always a surprise team that comes out of Africa every 4 years, and Nigeria essentially getting just a really horrid performance today. Nigeria losing, and who out of Africa has done anything here? And I'm thinking Tunisia will. This is England has a history of not, at least since 1966. When they won the cup, not performing particularly well in the cup. I know I'm, relying too much on history here, but in terms of value, maybe no expectations on Tunisia to upset here. But I do believe that if there's some value in taking the 2 or 3 way, in other words, you take a goal and a half on Tunisia, because I think Tunisia will cover that goal and a half, where you essentially are about even money taking Tunisia plus the goal and a half. You can get Tunisia to about even money, because you're right. England scores a goal, it's locked down, and Tunisia also capable of surprising.
All right, very quickly, 10 seconds. Oklahoma Brian, you taking the draw?
I will take the draw, and I thought I read about a week ago that the heat could be a factor in this game. I believe it's in Volgograd, and I know that a week ago it's factored to be pretty hot, like close to 100 degrees.
That helps Tunisia.
Right. Guys, we've got to go to break. We'll come back and wrap it up here. Fifth Street Sports, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you
2-minute close. Good job, guys.
help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003. Do you use the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Last thoughts.
All right, folks, that's it. Gosh, the time goes by so fast. Do we have Nick Webster still, or has he disappeared? There he is. All right, tell you what, I'm going to give everyone 15 seconds. Last thought, literally 15 seconds. Let's start with Oklahoma, Brian. Go.
I really like the Mexico-Germany game to start out slow, and I love the first half under and first half draw in that game.
Great picks there from Brian. Webster, go.
This World Cup has been absolutely explosive from the very beginning. I recommend watching as many games as possible and trying to pick up information from Nick Geber and myself as regards to making a few little bob on the side. We generally get things right.
Oh, look at that. Nolan.
Wow. Notice he didn't say, listen to Oklahoma Brian and Nolan Dalla. That's okay. I don't take offense, sir.
Nolan,
I'm up listening to both Nicks here. Listen to both Nicks on soccer. You guys know what you're talking about for sure. Here's my words of advice. If you're an American and you're listening to my voice, tune in and watch and just enjoy the majesty of the World Cup. It's a beautiful thing to watch. The anthems, the coming together. In, of all places, Russia, where politics, where nothing really matters other than the sportsmanship and the beautiful sport that it is. And I just think, enjoy the experience. That's my advice.
All right, folks, so you have everybody's 15 seconds, or in Nolan's case, 25. He got more. The last thing I'm going to say is, okay, everyone, go to our website at fifthstreetsports.com. You can find all sorts of goodies on there, special features, interviews. We've got all of our old shows. Everything's there for you at fifthstreetsports.com. And if you want to engage in the discussion, continue the discussion, no better place than to do that either on Facebook at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk or on Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, BetAnySports.eu, Array Solar, Affordable Autos Pahrump, and of course Sports Byline USA and SB Nation Radios. Big thank you to Scott Cuddy, Darren Peck, Ron Barr, all the great guys over there. We hope you enjoyed the show, and just one last programming note. We will be with you Monday through Friday starting at 1 p.m. Pacific.
2 days away.
Again at 6 p.m. Pacific time right here on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio. Monday through Friday, Fifth Street, well, it's just growing on you. Until then, folks, have a great weekend.
All right, guys, have a great hour 3. Take care.
In his weekly address, President Trump continues to lay the blame for America's immigration woes directly on Democrats.
MS-13 gang members are truly, and you've heard me say it, animals. And yet Nancy Pelosi and Washington Democrats continue to protect them and to push for open borders.
The president says it's also the Democrats' fault that families are being separated at the U.S.-Mexico border, insisting it's because they won't help to change the law. Washington Post columnist Philip Bump says it's not a matter of law and that the ball really is in the president's hands.
Clearly, President Trump doesn't like